Aging does not begin with wrinkles, stiffness, or pain. It begins with silence, with systems that once spoke clearly to each other, slowly losing their language. Cells stop responding to signals. Muscles forget their purpose. Structures designed to carry you for a lifetime begin to collapse, not because they're broken, but because they have been ignored. Look at the human foot. Perfectly engineered, 26 bones, dozens of muscles, ligaments woven like suspension cables, designed not just to stand, but to store energy, absorb force, and send constant information to the brain. The arch is not decoration, it is intelligence. And when that arch collapses, something far greater than posture is lost. Flat feet are often treated as a local problem, a mechanical flaw, something to brace or cushion, but biology never works in isolation. When the arch collapses, the nervous system adapts. Stability decreases, so tension increases elsewhere. Knees rotate, hips tighten, the spine stiffens. Energy that should move forward is wasted trying to keep you upright. This inefficiency is aging in miniature. The same pattern repeats inside cells. Mitochondria lose efficiency. DNA repair slows. Cellular communication becomes noisy, distorted. What looks like wear and tear is often information loss. Modern science no longer sees aging as a passive timeline. It is an active biological process driven by signaling errors, metabolic dysfunction, and loss of cellular identity. When David Sinclair speaks of aging, he describes cells forgetting who they're supposed to be. A liver cell acting less like a liver cell, a muscle cell behaving as if it no longer matters. That forgetting is accelerated by inactivity, constant feeding, artificial light, chronic stress, and comfort without challenge. The same forces that flatten the foot flatten human potential. The foot tells the truth because it cannot hide dysfunction. It lives at the interface between gravity and biology. When you walk barefoot on natural ground, thousands of nerve endings fire, calibrating balance, posture, and muscle tone. When you spend decades on flat surfaces, in cushioned shoes, those signals fade. Muscles weaken not from injury, but from irrelevance. And biology, always economical, stops investing in what is not used. There is one simple exercise that reverses this process. It does not look impressive, it does not burn calories, it does not exhaust you, but it restores the original signal. Pressing the big toe mound into the ground while gently lifting the arch without curling the toes reactivates the intrinsic foot muscles. This action sends a message upstream. This structure matters again. Blood flow increases, neural pathways reawaken. The arch rises not by force, but by remembrance. This is hormesis in action, a small, precise stress that forces adaptation. The same principle governs fasting, where temporary nutrient scarcity activates autophagy, recycling damaged proteins and organelles. The same principle governs exercise, where controlled strain tells genes to preserve muscle, bone, and mitochondria. Biology does not grow stronger through ease. It grows stronger through intelligent challenge followed by recovery.
When the arch returns, balance improves. Gait becomes elastic. The nervous system relaxes because stability no longer requires constant compensation. This reduction in background stress lowers inflammation. Insulin sensitivity improves. Even cognitive clarity can sharpen because movement and brain function are inseparable. The foot is not the destination, it is the doorway. A reminder that aging is not something that simply happens, it is something you participate in with every step, every signal, every choice. And once the body senses that participation, it begins to respond everywhere.
The moment structure is restored, efficiency follows. Efficient systems age slower because they waste less energy fighting chaos. Inside the cell, efficiency is measured by mitochondrial output, how much energy is produced for how little damage. Healthy mitochondria are dynamic, responsive, and numerous. They thrive under demand. When demand disappears, they fragment and decline. This is why sedentary living accelerates aging even in the absence of disease. Energy production drops, oxidative stress rises, and repair mechanisms fall behind. The same quiet decay happens when eating never stops. Constant glucose availability keeps insulin elevated, locking cells into storage mode. Autophagy shuts down. Old components accumulate. NAD+, a critical molecule for energy transfer and DNA repair, declines. Without NAD+, sirtuins cannot function. These enzymes are guardians of longevity, coordinating metabolism, inflammation, and genetic stability. Their decline is not random, it is lifestyle-driven. Fasting restores the rhythm. Even short periods without food force cells to adapt. Fat becomes fuel. Ketones signal efficiency. Autophagy clears debris. Mitochondria are renewed. This is not starvation, it is biological housekeeping. Just as the foot exercise removes artificial support and forces muscles to work again, fasting removes constant fuel and forces cells to remember their resilience. Exercise amplifies this effect. Not endless cardio, but varied, intentional movement. Resistance training tells the body muscle is required, even under stress. Sprinting and high-intensity efforts push mitochondrial capacity. Slow, controlled movements restore joint integrity and neural precision. Exercise is not about burning energy, it is about upgrading machinery. Genes respond immediately. Within hours, transcription changes, proteins are synthesized, repair accelerates. Light exposure is another signal modern life has distorted. Morning sunlight sets the circadian clock, aligning cortisol, insulin, and body temperature. Darkness at night allows melatonin to rise, triggering deep sleep and cellular repair. Artificial light fractures this rhythm. Sleep becomes shallow. Growth hormone drops. Glymphatic clearance slows. The brain accumulates waste. Aging accelerates not because of time, but because night never truly arrives. Sleep is not rest. It is reconstruction. DNA repair peaks. Synapses reset. Hormones recalibrate. Miss this window repeatedly and no supplement can compensate. Longevity studies consistently show that sleep quality predicts lifespan more reliably than many biomarkers. Biology heals when it is allowed to follow its ancient schedule. Cold and heat exposure further sharpen resilience. Cold increases norepinephrine, improving focus and mood. It activates brown fat, enhancing metabolic health. Heat induces heat shock proteins, protecting cellular structure and reducing protein misfolding, a key driver of neurodegeneration. These stressors are not luxuries, they're reminders of the environments that shaped human physiology. Psychological stress works differently. Chronic, unresolved stress signals danger without resolution. Cortisol stays elevated. Inflammation persists. Telomeres shorten faster. But stress paired with meaning produces adaptation instead of damage. Purpose reframes effort as investment rather than threat. Neurochemistry changes, immune function improves. This is why people with strong purpose live longer. Identity is biological.
Discipline, then, is not punishment. It is clarity. It is choosing signals that tell your cells to stay sharp, stay responsive, stay young. The arch lifting under your foot is proof that forgotten systems can be restored. Scale that principle upward and aging itself becomes negotiable. And when enough systems begin to respond, a deeper transformation begins.
When biology regains coherence, the future feels different. Strength no longer feels temporary. Energy becomes reliable. Recovery accelerates. This is not optimism, it is feedback. Epigenetic clocks measure biological age by patterns of DNA methylation, and these clocks have been shown to reverse with lifestyle change. Not slow, reverse. Cells remember youth when given the correct instructions.
Aging as a disease is not a declaration of war on nature. It is an acknowledgement of mechanism. Diseases are processes with levers. Aging has levers too: metabolism, inflammation, repair, signaling. Ignore them and decline accelerates. Engage them and the slope changes, not indefinitely, but meaningfully.
Correcting flat feet with one exercise works because it restores responsibility to tissue that surrendered it. The same philosophy applies everywhere. Muscles that are challenged stay young. Brains that are stimulated remain plastic. Metabolisms that cycle between abundance and scarcity stay flexible. Sleep that is protected restores order. Light that follows the sun recalibrates hormones. Cold and heat remind cells how to defend themselves. The body does not need perfection. It needs patterns. Consistent signals, repeated daily, compound quietly. Small actions performed without drama outperform grand gestures performed rarely. Biology listens to what you do most often. Resilience is built invisibly until it is tested. When illness comes, recovery is faster. When stress arrives, systems adapt instead of collapsing. When time passes, capacity remains. This is not anti-aging fantasy. It is survival biology optimized for modern understanding. Identity follows function. When the body feels capable, the mind stops negotiating with weakness. You begin to plan further ahead. Purpose sharpens because longevity feels earned, not accidental. The future becomes a place you are preparing for, not bracing against. The arch beneath your foot rising again is a quiet declaration. It says collapse is not inevitable, that support can come from within, that systems designed to work will work when asked. Aging obeys the same rule. The secret is not hidden in a pill or procedure. It is written into your cells, waiting for clear signals: movement, fasting, light, sleep, stress with recovery, purpose with discipline. These are not trends, they're instructions. And when those instructions are delivered consistently, biology responds with precision that feels almost intelligent, because it is. Repair accelerates, energy returns, time loosens its grip. You were never meant to fade quietly. You were designed to adapt, to endure, to grow stronger in response to challenge. And when you finally stand fully inside that design, aging stops being a sentence and becomes a process you can influence, slow, and shape, step by deliberate step.